This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Another Power Pack show for you. We get to talk football in our first hour, and it'll be on the collegiate side, so be listening right here on 1480 KRAE. Some more tickets to give away, too, to the Pokes Washington State contest, all kinds of goodies. Today's program being brought to you by Taco John's, where it's Taco Tuesday. All day today. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Also, your home for loaded potato lays, the sirloin steak burritos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Also, they're 6-pack and a pound. But again, today, Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. You will find them over on Highway 30. Yes, they got pounded by the hail here this summer, and they're having a whale of a hail sale. Also, we have for you Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, where you're going to find delicious eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now with school starting, you definitely want to get through the convenient drive-thru and grab some breakfast each morning, Monday through Saturday, over at Chick-fil-A, corner Windmill and Del Range, right across from Menards. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. The 18's got to go, making way for the night, making room for the 19s to come on in. So that means Greg and AJ, the Millers over there, are going to have some great deals going on. And you want to take advantage of those great car deals, always from Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, couple of banking locations. You can check out the gang over on Vanda High. And, of course, the secondary crew for the East Siders over at the corner of College and Pershing. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, you can see Gene and his wonderful staff over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body with 2 locations. The main auto repair center, auto and truck repair center on Dunn Avenue. Yes, they are busy these days. Yeah, they are taking care of all the hail dents that took place here recently. And, of course, even the Auto Glass and Detail Center taking care of some of those hail dents as well and fixing up some of those windshields these days over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Make sure you're talking to Tim and the great staff about those special APY rates right now going on with their CDs, their special CD packages that they have over at First Tier Bank at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. It's Mondello's Pizzeria, 7 days a week. Paisan cuisine at its best. And again, locally owned, locally operated, not a corporate chain. Mondello's Pizzeria, they know how to do Paisan food. The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council, 635-4592. Give Tim a call for his services. Marv's Plumbing and Heating. You can check them out at 1515 Logan Avenue. And we get our scoreboard underway to start our program each day at 3 o'clock and at 4 o'clock. Here in the 3 o'clock hour, scoreboard is brought to you by the great folks at Pepsi of Cheyenne. Nick?
I don't know why you had to reiterate it, because I would assume people should already know. Again, you've tuned in. Again, one of the best shows here in the tri-state region. Everyone should know, right?
About what?
How our schedule operates.
Well, let's do it.
Well, I got nothing, so it's on you. Again, I got nothing on the local side. I just wanted to vent like that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I don't have anything. Again, there's
Just
nothing
give
in
the
action until
give me
tomorrow.
the microphone. Here we
LCCC
go.
is in action tomorrow, not today.
All right, Major League Baseball games that'll be getting underway when we get done today. It will be the Marlins at the Red Sox, Blue Jays at the Orioles, White Sox and the Yankees again in the Bronx. Nats and the Phillies a little after 5 o'clock. 5:10 we'll have the Twins at the Indians, Brewers at the Reds. 5:30 games we'll have the Rays at the Bravos. Dodgers will be taking on the Rangers in Arlington, Texas. Also in the 6 o'clock hour. I like this matchup, and I'm going to mention this real quick here. The Mets and the Cubs. You got Jacob deGrom, who's 8-8 with a 1.71 ERA, going up against Cole Hamels, who they picked up out of Texas, who's doing very well for the Cubs. He's 4-0 with a .79 ERA since joining Chicago. Good pitchers duel on tap, hopefully tonight at Wrigley Field. The swinging A's and the Astros, and the A's better start swinging because they looked awful last night as they were clobbered by the Stros. Edwin Jackson will be opposed by Charlie Morton. The Motor City Kitties of Detroit taking on the Royals, Pirates, and the Cardinals tonight. That will be at Busch. In the 8 o'clock hour, the Rockies and the Angels, and maybe somebody out of the bullpen can throw strikes for the Rocks tonight. Kyle Freeland. It's going to be thrust upon you to carry the starting crew tonight as he'll go up against Noah Ramirez. Also in the 8 o'clock hour would be the M's of the Padres. Hey, Mad Bum going for the win tonight for the Giants. As the Giants did their part to help the Rockies last night. They beat the Diamondbacks. It'll be Mad Bum going up against Clay Buchholz tonight at AT&T in San Francisco. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, Tea Master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes
tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Is your free checking account no longer free? Lose those checking account fees and lose the hassle by switching to Platte Valley Bank's Value Checking and experience truly free checking. With Platte Valley Bank's Value Checking, there is no minimum balance required, unlimited check writing, no per check charge, no monthly service charge, free net banking, free e-statements, free bill pay, free mobile banking, and Platte Valley Bank customers can use their debit cards at any ATM anywhere absolutely free. So stop by Platte Valley Bank today and lose those fees with Value Checking.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 64. And for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 46. On Wednesday, it'll be sunny with highs around 84. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 50.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today, Tuesday afternoon. Larry Proetti, along with Sonny Boy across the way there, Nick Proetti. Hey, we get a chance to open up the program, talk to Theo Lawson, Washington State insider for the Spokesman Review. Theo.
And fellow Idaho alum as well, too.
You went there 1 year and you were on double secret probation the entire year.
I'm still an alum, though, a former student of University of Idaho. So, again, at least we have that in common.
Theo, did you get your degree there?
I did, yeah. I don't tell too many Washington State fans that because they're technically border rivals here.
No problem. You got your degree. I'm all right with that. We're talking about Nick, who made it 1 year, and that was it.
I made it more than that, and then I found fraternity row.
Yeah, that's a sad part. Theo, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's talk about the Washington State Cougars, and then we'll get into this weekend's game with the Wyoming Cowboys. You know, as you cover college football, similar to high school football, hey, you know, you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you're out of there. And again, Coach Leach faces a problem that many coaches got to face across the country. We're going to have to restock, not so much retool, but restock because you got hit by graduation like most other schools do.
Right. I mean, I think they lose 9 starters on offense and much more on defense, and this is what happens in college football. It's kind of that transition point, and some schools can kind of recruit well enough every year in the Pac-12 to kind of overcome schools like USC and Washington, and really maybe those two at this point, but Stanford and in some cases Oregon too. But Washington State isn't quite at that recruiting level to where you can lose a quarterback like Luke Falk and not see any kind of drop off the next season. So they do replace a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. There's a All-American defensive lineman, an All-American offensive lineman they have to replace. Luke Falk, like I mentioned, a bunch more pieces on offense. And then not to be overlooked is 6 assistant coaches, including a defensive coordinator who left during the offseason. And so a new wave of coaches joins Mike Leach and Pullman. So there's a lot to replace, but I think they feel pretty good about what they have. Every team in the country is pretty confident at this point of the year before having played a game. So I think they feel pretty good about what they have going into Saturday's game.
Well, interesting for Washington State, similar with Wyoming, though, at least reloading on the offense, especially here with the Cowboys reloading or at least trying to replace one Josh Allen, which we have with Tyler Vanderwall. But very interesting, at least with the depth chart with the Washington State Cougars. Maybe a little Mike Leach having a little bit of fun, it seems like. But there's a quarterback at least listed as number 1, but there's a lot of oars by a few other backups, and it's not even just the quarterback position, it's running back as well too. Is this something that Mike Leach is just having fun with the media, or is it really a game time decision for a lot of at least offensive positions for Washington State coming up against Wyoming?
I think it depends on the position. I think with the quarterback, maybe it is him having fun with the media, and I'm sure he also doesn't want to reveal who it is before the first game. But anyone who's been around fall camp, preseason camp the last couple of weeks knows who the quarterback is, and then we've all written about it plenty, and that looks to be Gardner Minshew at this point because he's the one getting pretty much all the reps at this point, and I wouldn't imagine you would start a quarterback who wasn't getting more reps than the other guys. So Gardner Minshew comes in, and we all probably kind of expected this to happen. He's the only one of those 4 who's ever taken an FBS snap and actually started last year a few times at East Carolina, and so has experience. This is kind of what the Cougars were looking for after losing Luke Falk, and of course, after the tragedy of Tyler Helinski, they wanted somebody with experience and someone who could come in and kind of make it a seamless transition. So, although you do see the 3 oars in the depth chart, I would be very shocked if Gardner Minshew wasn't starting, and I think Mike Leach has already kind of decided upon that. But at a few of the other positions, I think the oars are pretty accurate because you're going to see guys rotate in and out, and there are a couple of jobs that just haven't really been won because either one guy hasn't separated himself or they felt pretty good about 3 guys, 3 or 4 guys starting at those positions, including running back, where they traditionally do rotate the guys through and kind of go to the hot hand. That's what they did last season when they had 4 guys who all could contribute. They kind of just went with whoever was hot in that game or whoever kind of matched up better against that week's opponent. So I think you're going to see a lot of that this week against Wyoming, and I think we're all kind of eager to see who's getting the most reps at a number of these positions.
Theo Lawson, Washington State insider for the Spokesman Review. Theo, Cowboys opened up last week at Las Cruces, New Mexico, one of the earliest times that the Cowboys ever opened. So for Washington State, they get an extra week of fall camp. Advantage to the Cowboys having played, or that extra week for Coach Leach to solidify each position for the Cougars?
I think it kind of works both ways. But talking to Mike Leach, he actually thought that Wyoming had the advantage playing a game the week before, rather than the Cougars kind of having to sit out another week and kind of wait for the game to happen. Wyoming is kind of one game more experience at this point, and I know Craig Bull talked yesterday about your biggest improvements coming between week 1 and week 2. If that's true, then that's another kind of advantage for Wyoming, is they know what to fix. They know what they did well. I think they did most things well, but they also know what they did wrong against New Mexico State, so they can kind of clean those things up during practice. And really for Washington State, especially with a new team and so many new players at each position, they really don't know what they're going to get out of those guys, especially at quarterback. So I think between week 1 and week 2 will be really crucial for Washington State, but they don't get that until next week. So I think Wyoming probably does have the advantage there. Although maybe there are a few injuries that Wyoming sustained that wouldn't have happened had they not played last week.
The Washington State Cougars, of course, share the spotlight in Washington with the Huskies, and of course in the Northern Division of the Pac-12. And it seems to me that State is almost there as far as being that top contender all the time, for the North, whether it's Washington, whether it's Stanford. The Cougars seem to be in the mix. And it's like, is it just the total recruiting phase to come to Washington State? Is that what keeps them from being that dominant team in the North?
I think that's definitely part of it. I think it's a lot easier to attract recruits to Seattle and to California than it is to Pullman, Washington. And luckily for the Cougars, I think why they've had more success the last few years, and really under Mike Leach, is because they have a system they can recruit to. Mike Leach has his niche. That's the air raid offense. So he's always going to be able to recruit pretty high-profile quarterbacks, pretty high-profile receivers, even offensive linemen. They really haven't had much trouble there, and that's why I think that the last 3 years that they've won something like 25 games, and I believe that's tied for second most in the Pac-12. So I think as far as the offensive side of the ball is concerned, that they really aren't ever too worried about what they're going to have. Defense, I think, is a bigger issue. They can't recruit the same size of defensive linemen. And I think you've seen it the last couple of years where they just kind of get pounded on the D-line. They've had to recruit smaller, quicker guys, and that kind of worked last year with Alex Grinch and Hercules Mataafa, and they were able to have a lot of success, but I'm not sure if that's something you can sustain as much as the air raid offense and recruiting players to that system. So I think it does hurt them a little bit. They really have overcome it, and you almost wonder what Mike Leach could do if he was at a place like Washington or USC, where he kind of had unlimited ability to recruit and could get 5-star guys on both sides of the ball. So I think he's done really well with what he's had, and he's kind of overachieved every year. And this year that they're picked 5th in the Pac-12 North, and I wouldn't be surprised if they overachieved a little bit again this year as they're kind of rebuilding this thing.
Well, at least you kind of answered my question that I had for you as we at least look at the Pac-12 preseason polls. Yes, Washington State is picked to finish 5th, just above Oregon State. But, again, with this Washington State team, and again, looking at that schedule, it's a little bit favorable, at least in the early marks. Again, interested to see what happens this weekend, coming to Laramie and playing against a strong Wyoming Cowboy team. But again, is this a favorable schedule for at least Washington State, where you do have, at least down there in Pullman, you will have the number 24 Oregon Ducks coming at least that way, also to another North Division rival of Cal coming to Pullman? I mean, is this something where is it harsh to put Washington State at that 5 spot in the preseason poll? Should they be a little bit higher, or is this something that this team's going to kind of work about? It's how do I put this?
It's going to be. Are they going to be a 5th place team in the North?
Right. Like I said, I do believe they can overachieve it, but I think the voters looking at this team and looking what they lost and looking what they returned, I think it's understandable that they were picked to finish 5th in the North. Cal returns a lot of players, and then of course Oregon and Stanford each have kind of a Heisman candidate, and they also return a lot too. So I think on paper Washington State clearly doesn't look like they could be better than Cal, Oregon, Stanford, but They've beaten Oregon and Stanford the last 2 years. I think they beat Oregon the last 3 years. Stanford the last 2 years. They've had pretty good success against Cal aside from last season, so they can definitely compete with all those teams. And I think those are all kind of tough games against those three. I'm sure it does work in their favor to play Oregon at home. They got to play Oregon on the road last year without Justin Herbert, so that really kind of helped them out. That would have been a tough game with him playing quarterback there, and then Stanford. You never really worried too much about Stanford being a tough road environment. It's probably one of the quietest stadiums in the country. So I think the fact that that's a road game, I'm sure they're not too affected by that. They actually kind of blew out Stanford and Palo Alto a few years ago, and then of course Arizona at home with Khalil Tate. That's always going to be a tough game for them. And last year you kind of saw that he put on a show down there in Tucson, and then of course Washington coming to Pullman for the Apple Cup. No one's really going to be picking the Cougars in that game, but I'm sure it doesn't hurt that it's Pullman. So I would say in general, aside from maybe the visit to USC on a Friday night, and it's going to be a national TV game, I think the schedule does favor them. I'm sure they don't love having to go to Wyoming for the season opener. I think they've lost their last 7 season openers on the road. So I think when you kind of look at the schedule as a whole, I think it does benefit them aside from a few of these games.
It's interesting as you will be coming over to Laramie here this Saturday, and just similar to last year against Oregon, I would expect a packed house. And again, last year Oregon brought in what we would say was a mediocre Ducks team, and they put a whooping on the Wyoming Cowboys. And then again, we were touting Josh Allen and all the other good things that go on with the Wyoming Cowboys. Are you, and I'm asking you, Theo, just alone, not Coach Leach, are you surprised that Washington State is favored coming to Laramie?
I wasn't really too surprised before Washington played New Mexico State last weekend, but I kind of came away from that game thinking, all right, well maybe the Wyoming should be picked by 2 points instead of Washington State, because I just think that defense is so elite, and watching what they do up front, Mike Leach kind of touted their defensive line as maybe their strongest position group, and it sure looked like that. And then of course that safety, when you have someone who's probably going to be an All-American and really can kind of hang with anybody out there, probably should be playing in the Pac-12 or in a higher conference. I think their defense is that good. I think Washington State can hang with them. I mean, of course, I'm picking a close game. I think the Cougars are maybe a little bit more talented at some of the skill positions on offense. But that said, this is going to be the first time that they've played a real opponent with probably Gardner Minshew at quarterback, and with 3 new starters on the offensive line, a few new receivers out there. So it's really hard to tell what this Washington State team is going to do. But you kind of already know what Wyoming looks like, and I'm sure that they're going to be pretty amped up to have a chance to beat a Pac-12 team at home, especially after kind of riding New Mexico State last week. So I'm sure they're going to be kind of licking their chops, and I'm sure they want to be 2-0 coming out of this game, and kind of proving that they belong as kind of one of the top mid-major teams out there.
I liked how you mentioned that you expect a close game, which I do too. I think this one could be evenly matched per se. I saw last year with the Wyoming Cowboys having a good defense, and this is probably one of the better defenses in all my years I've been here with the Cowboys. And again, going up against a very good Pac-12 team, we're not going to even dismiss the fact that Coach Leach has a lot of positions that he has to fill. But my point is, though, if the Wyoming Cowboys, and this is what I saw last year against Oregon, gave a lot of short fields to the Ducks, if they can, even if they just go a 3-and-out, without coughing the ball up or whatever the case may be, is this a game that we could see the over/under at 40 and probably under 40 between these two teams?
Yeah, I think it really could be a low-scoring game, because I think Washington State's defense is pretty good, and I think they'll be able to hold Wyoming, and Wyoming is still kind of adjusting themselves to a new quarterback who's going to be making his first start there in Laramie. And Washington State's passing defense was the best in the Pac-12 last year, and they bring back pretty much everyone from that. Their linebackers are pretty elite. Their defensive line is probably the biggest question mark on the team right now, and they don't have a lot of depth or talent there after losing Hercules Mataafa and Daniel Aquali. So, but I think, by and large, I think that those sides will kind of cancel each other out, and I think it's going to be really hard for either team to score. So I think the other day I predicted a 28-27 Cougar win, but I looking back, I think it probably could be much more low scoring than that. Maybe something like 20-21, or even possibly less than that. So I think it'll be a defensive grind. I think there will be a lot of 3-and-outs. Washington State obviously adjusting to a new quarterback, and might take them a half to kind of get used to that and used to playing with Gardner Minshew in a real kind of game setting, and then getting accustomed to Wyoming's defense. So I'm thinking it could be a pretty low scoring game. We all want to see offense, but I'm probably guessing less than 40 points.
Think you're going to make the trip up here to Laramie this weekend?
Yeah, I will be up there. I'm not staying in Laramie. It's apparently hard to get a hotel in Laramie on a game weekend, which I'm not too surprised about. I think Pullman's the same way. So we're actually going to be staying in Fort Collins, Colorado, Friday night, and then driving back to Denver not long after the game Saturday. So I won't be spending a lot of time in Laramie, but I'm excited to get up there and kind of see the stadium and cover a college football game in Wyoming.
All right, Nick and I will catch up with you up in the press box. And again, thanks for joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We'll see you on Saturday.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me, and go Vandals.
Yeah, absolutely, go Vandals. They got a tough test against Fresno State coming up, so
and they'll lose.
Oh, yeah, don't say that.
Don't say that. They'll definitely lose.
Back me up on this, Theo. Come on, Vandals should be decent this year, right?
I think they could be. I think like Washington State, like Wyoming, quarterback's a pretty big issue right now. So we'll see how it goes. But they have a lot of FBS talent on that team, and obviously playing in the FCS, you like their chances.
All right, Theo, go back to work, okay? And good luck to your Vandals. Right. All right, Theo Lawson, Washington State Insider for the Spokesman Review. Join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, and hopefully we'll get a chance up there to shake hands with him and thank him very much for joining us here this afternoon on our program. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we're going to get a press conference held by Wyoming head coach Craig Bohl. Craig Bohl discussing the win against Las Cruces, and a look ahead to Mike Leach's Washington State Cougars. And again, the coach having a lot of respect for the Pac-12 team that's coming to Laramie this Saturday. We'll be back after these words.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com. As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. Couple comments concerning our recent ball game. We're really pleased with the start. It was going to be important for us to come off the field with a good victory. We're pleased with the win. I think New Mexico State's a good football program. Want to wish Coach Martin the best, and we're convinced they're going to win a lot of football games this year. Couple injury reports. I would say Austin Ford is doubtful for the Washington State game. We are pleased to say that Alonzo Velasquez, I would say, was probably probable or even better than that. So some notes about the ball game. First of all, really pleased we established a running game, established a line of scrimmage. That was going to be important for us. I thought our running backs ran hard. We were assignment bound, and we came off the ball, and that's always going to be hopefully a trademark for us as we move forward. Tyler Vanderwall, he started out the game really well. I think he was 7 for 7, and he maybe had a little dip during the course of the game, but really pleased for a freshman quarterback, in starting game, particularly on the road with a team that had won their bowl game. It was a big ball game, and thought Tyler really showed up well, so we're really pleased with that. I thought our defense was very disruptive. They established field position. We tackled well. We ran to the ball well and played with a great deal of energy, so we're pleased with that. And we won the kicking game, so if you total those things up, I think it was a pretty convincing win. While some people on the outside may like a lot more scores, I was pleased for the most part with our first-team defense. We were holding a shutout and creating field position. The time of possession was in our favor, and so we're pleased with that. We'd like to have that formula in the future, but we've got much work to do. I've always believed this: a football team typically improves their most. Improvement comes between their first and their second game, and so this is an opportunity for us to improve, and we have a lot of work to do. So our players are back. We started out with some lifting today, and we'll have a light practice and get ready for an excellent game against Washington State. Washington State, first of all, I have a great deal of respect for Coach Leach. I've coached against him on a couple occasions through the years. He enjoys a great national reputation, and I think their football team has transitioned from a team into a really good program. You can see the vision that Coach Leach has in their recruiting philosophy, the direction that they're going. They've been a perennial bowl game team, and so you're not just dealing with a team, you're dealing with a program. I know their defensive coordinator, Tracy Clays, very well. I can promise you this, their defensive players will know what they're doing. They will be assignment bound, and they will play really hard. Also know Coach Spurrier. I had a chance when I was a young coach at Duke. He was on our team for a while. And, I know that when he was at Oklahoma, he and Coach Leach worked extensively together. So you've got an experienced coaching staff with a whole collection of other guys. Well, what the makings are is a great college football game. There's a lot to play for. It's early in the year. I know our players are excited. Our coaches are excited. And so at this time, I'll open up any questions anybody might have.
With Austin being doubtful, is that a good sign that it's maybe not season ending, or do you know much more about it, or is it kind of a positive that it's just doubtful at this point?
I would say that's a correct assessment. Initially, it would come down to a knee strain. There's probably a more technical term than that, but they're going to go through do an MRI and all those things, but the initial assessment is doubtful. He's moving around, but a little gingerly, and so I just, unless he goes sees the wizard, I don't think he's going to be playing this week. But to say that he's going to be lost for the year, I would be surprised by that.
Coach, with Cash out this game, just what does Adam bring to that position? Obviously, I know he's a veteran on this team who's Adam Phillip stepping in for Cash.
Okay, yeah. Adam is a really bright player. He's played safety here in the past. He's put on some lean muscle mass. He's got a great understanding of linebacker. And so he played quite a bit last week. And, we really feel comfortable with him coming in and playing this week.
After you looked at film with your offensive line with 3 redshirt freshmen, did they grade well? Were you pleased with what you got from your offensive line?
Yeah, we were, Robert. I mean, the results, I know our running backs ran hard, but a lot of times I thought the line of scrimmage was moved, and we were fairly assignment bound. There's still some things we have to clean up, maybe from the naked eye. maybe some of the fans couldn't see, but we certainly did. But overall, I mean, that was a point of emphasis that started last spring. You know, we were way off as far as our ability to run. I think New Mexico State has some good defensive front players. And so, you know, credit our strength staff. I thought they did a great job preparing those guys. And while we had some new players in there, they certainly didn't play like they were new. And so we're pleased with that. It's a really good start for us. But now this next crew we're going to face is going to be a little bit different. And, you know, every week gets a little bit bigger, and this will be a bigger ball game and I think a better opponent.
Coach, how does this Washington State team compare to the one you guys played back in 2015? Is it still pretty similar to what they're trying to do?
Oh, some of the schematics are the same now. You know, defensively, they're going to have a different flavor. But offensively, you know, there's a lot of things that Coach Leach has done through the years. I can remember calling defenses when he was calling plays at Texas Tech. While there's some differences, there's a lot of similarities. So they have a philosophy. You know, it's going to be a great opportunity. I thought we were outmanned. The last time we were up there, we were going to need to have, you know, a plus 3 or 4 turnover margin, and that didn't come about. And I think Washington State had their way with us. I can remember that. You know, we're in hopes that we've got it. I know this, we're a different program now than what we were then. How we stack up, that's why our fans need to come to the game and see. Yes, over here, the guy in the cowboy hat.
Last week, it didn't seem like the defense did a lot of they were pretty vanilla in their approach. Was that by design, or was that just because that's the way the game went?
Well, if I give it all, I'm going to tell a bunch of secrets, and you're trying to bait me here, Tracy. You know, I think what happened during the course of the game, we had pretty good control of the game. And so as a result, you kind of danced with who brung you. Things were working pretty good, and it's no sense trying to out-trick ourselves. I thought our guys, you know, I was really pleased. It's probably the most speed that I've seen our defense have since I've been our head coach. And so our guys were positioned well, and they played well. So part of it was design, and then part of it was how the game unfolded.
Greg, you've been a part of some really good defenses, either as a coordinator or as a head coach. Does this one have a chance to be in that special group of the ones you coached previously?
Yes.
And I guess why?
Couple things. First of all, you know, a lot of experience back at key positions. When you say key positions, you're usually looking at kind of in a baseball term to be really strong down the middle. You know, whether it's a defensive tackle like Sid or Johanna, or a middle linebacker like Logan, or safeties like Marcus and Andrew Wingert. That's pretty strong down the middle. And then you've got some flank guys like Carl Granderson, and I think we've got some good explosion from our corners. So there's good athleticism, there's some maturity, a lot of experience. Our whole coaching staff's back. You know, they're hungry. They got a taste of being good last year. I think they want to take another step forward. But that could be characterized of our whole football team. But certainly we have more experience on defense than we do offense. And particularly in opening games, it was going to be important for us to leverage our defense, which we did. You know, we wanted to make sure that our opponents always played on the long field and make sure, you know, there was probably a couple times I'm sure I got some gruntled, why aren't you going for it on 4th down, or why aren't you doing this? Well, I know this. I look at those guys and say, hey, punt the ball inside the 10. Good luck, Jack Buck, on trying to go 90 yards on our number ones. And so that was the plan.
You know, with Trey Woods moving
back in the back, the elder statesman with the glasses.
Just curious how good it must feel to come home after you open the season on the road.
Is that a question or a comment? It's a promotive.
How good does it feel?
It feels great, and it does. You know, there's no place like home. War Memorial Stadium, since I've been our head coach, I believe has transitioned. You know, it's gone to where you have games there to where now the crowd is actively involved. It's been great to see our student body show up. They energize the stadium. You know, it'll be a wonderful, I believe it's a 1:30 kickoff. Sun will be out. There's nothing better early in the fall in Laramie. And so I'm in hopes that our fans are excited about it. I know our football players are really excited about it. So it has a makings of being an outstanding atmosphere with two really good football teams that are going to go after it on the gridiron. So it feels great, Kevin, to be at home.
With Trey Woods' transition to defensive end. I mean, he was in the rotation. He got a sack. Certainly not assuming he's got it all figured out, but has he surprised you with how he's kind of picked things up to this point? And what have you liked from him, at least thus far? He's still learning the position. He's learning the position. You know, he started out as a linebacker, and so quite frankly, a lot of times our middle linebackers and our defensive ends, while their assignments are different, sometimes the physical composition, their body types are very similar. And what we like, he's got good length. He can speed rush. He's got good strength. I wouldn't say great strength, but he can cover a lot of ground, and that puts an offensive tackle. You know, that point back there that you're shooting for, he can get there in a hurry. And it was good to see him hop in and get a sack. I also know that if you looked at our tape, when Nico broke off the long run, there was nobody more excited than Trey Woods. He almost got flagged because he got outside the box because he was excited. And I think that those are indications of things that I see, that the team is bigger than itself. And when those unselfish physical demonstrations come out, we've got a lot to work with. And he's a good-looking guy on the hoof. I mean, and he's gonna put a lot of weight on, and we're really excited. We think that's a great move for him.
Been a part of some big wins against, you know, autonomous 5 teams in the past. Just how much have those wins meant to, you know, those teams that got those wins, even though, you know, they don't directly affect, you know, conference standing?
Well, I think it's another step forward in our program. I know you hear all this talk about it, and I appreciate you calling it autonomous 5 because you say Power 5s. I think there's power programs, and as I alluded to at the beginning of this press conference, Washington State has moved up the ladder. They're a nationally recognized program, and they have good players, and they're well coached, and so it's going to be a great opportunity for our football team. Yes.
Coach, given the wide open nature New Mexico State had and what Coach Leach likes to do, how beneficial was that in terms of your defense kind of seeing an open passing attack as you came ready for this week?
Well, there's certainly some similarities. You know, some of the formations and the personnel groupings would lend themselves to say, okay, you know, you're more acclimated to that as opposed to, say, like playing Air Force. However, a lot of the schemes are different and the players are different. So every week is a new week. You know, our players are going to need to erase some of the things that they learned and applied during the game and kind of re-engineer their brain to get assignment bound. But, you know, you're not talking about 3 backs in the backfield and a fullback and a kick-out block. You're talking about different concepts. So there's more similarities than differences.
I know Coach Leach likes to tell a lot of stories. He's a very unique individual. Do you have any Mike Leach stories by chance? Or
you know what? Coach and I are friends, and the things that he and I talked about are going to stay between Coach Leach and I. Yep. I think he's good for college football. I do. I think he's really good for college football. You know, their program does stuff right, and you know, I appreciate his energy to the game, and we know each other fairly well, not super well. I know Tracy actually better than I know Coach Leach, but great deal of respect. So I have no comments. The longer I talk, the more I say something. So, any other questions?
Coach, you mentioned you see the most improvement between week 1 and week 2. What areas specifically do you see that improvement?
Well, first of all, if you look at the number of times I called timeout, those things need to be corrected. Some of the other things, they're just first game nuances with some young players. And as much as you try to replicate all that stuff in scrimmages and practice, and I thought we did a fairly good job being clean. First of all, I was really pleased with no turnovers. But you know, some of those things that we've got to get cleaned up. If we have a chance to be Washington State, you know, those things got to be cleaned up. There were some blocking assignments that were missed. There was a couple defensive assignments that were missed that really have nothing to do with our physical ability, but it has everything to do with our execution. I do get frustrated sometimes when coaches sometimes are critiquing players because they say they didn't execute. Well, who in the heck's job is it to teach them to execute? I mean, that's why you got coach on your shirt. And so there's some things that we have to clean up as coaches and as players to give ourselves a chance to win.
No,
yes.
No, we're trying to trap you on that. earlier question, but I guess what I was getting at is Washington State's offense is a lot more wide open than a lot of offenses. A lot more of a challenge, you think, for your defense than some of the teams that play?
Yeah, you know what, Tracy, sometimes schools get in a cookie-cutter approach. In our league, however, there's a lot of different offenses. I would say this offense that Coach Leach has is very unique, and I think the question came up earlier about the similarities between them and New Mexico State. Some of the personnel groupings are similar, but the schemes and the concepts are significantly different, and they execute them, Tracy, so well. I mean, they execute things on a dime. And I think one thing that I have appreciated about Coach Leach through the years is he takes things that appear to be very complicated, and they're complicated for opposing defenses, and he makes them simple. What I see, whether, you know, when he was at Oklahoma or at Texas Tech, and some of the things that I see now, those concepts are there. He's a really bright guy. You know what? I know this. The Attorney General at the state of Nebraska went to law school with him. The Attorney General at Nebraska was my college roommate. So, you know, Coach Leach's got a law degree, and he's a bright guy, and he utilizes it. But he doesn't try to think. He doesn't try to out-trick everybody to show how smart he is. And so there's brilliance there.
Craig, how much do you appreciate a coach like Mike Leach that will do a home and home like this and say, no, you're just coming
right.
to dark?
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks to Tom Berman. He negotiated the contracts, but I do think this is an indication of the football program at the University of Wyoming. You know, we're in position where we have an opportunity to do home and homes with nationally recognized schools. You can get on an airplane and play about anybody you want to, any time of the year. But when you're able to do home and homes, it gives you an understanding of the maybe the national recognition of our program. And I think that's one thing that, you know, you hear these group of 5 terms used. You know, I'm going to pound the table for the Mountain West. I mean, there's a reason why Stanford went to San Diego State. There was a reason why Nebraska has been here. There's a reason why Oregon's been here. There's a reason why Washington State's here. Our conference is a nationally recognized conference, and so as a result of that, you're going to be able to have some home and homes like this. And so I applaud Washington State, but it's not like they're doing a lot of favors. I mean, we got 2 good football teams that are going to play Saturday, and we're excited about playing them in Laramie.
Coach, at quarterback, is it fairly similar to last week where, you know, it sounds like they haven't announced the guy in, you just got to be ready for whoever?
Yeah, that's Coach Leach there too. You know, I've kind of been monitoring what's going on there. You know, we've watched a lot of tape on a lot of the different guys, and whoever they have, their abilities may change a little bit, but really it's not like you're going to see a significant amount or a departure from their schematics. And so we got to get prepared to see what they do. I know this, they have really good players with really good coaches. I think we got really good players and really good coaches too. And so from that standpoint, stay tuned. It's going to be a heck of a ball game. With that, I'm going to close it.
Age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the Golden Age of Radio, Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 K-Ray, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480kray.com.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day,
at Windmill and Delrange.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 64. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 46. On Wednesday, it'll be sunny with highs around 84. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 50.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and again, thank you to Coach Craig Bowl for his inside thoughts on the upcoming game. Also, want to thank again Theo Lawson. Join us in the beginning of the hour, as he is the insider for the Washington State.
There you go, Cougars. Yeah,
I know.
It took you a while to get there.
No, I'm doing a couple things here, and I'm ad-libbing while I'm doing it. I was going to say the Washington State insider for the Spokesman Review. Anyway, as I'm looking here on our Wyoming Sports Talk Today page, we gave away some tickets yesterday.
Oh, we're going to do it now? You're going to take it away from me?
No, that's what I'm saying. When would you like to do the tickets?
I guess we can do it now. Then I have to grab my bowl, so you're going to have to.
Okay, well, I will tell everybody what we're doing. And again, these tickets, if I'm not mistaken, they're $85 each for Washington State. Does that sound about right?
That's what it says, $85.
$170 worth of tickets, plus we're giving some eats too, breakfast.
Yeah.
So before you head to Laramie on Saturday,
yeah,
you stop on by and see my good friends Ray and Cindy over here at Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, and they're going to set you up. You got a chance for
it is for it's not for just those in Cheyenne, but you will need to come here to the capital city to pick up those tickets. So again, for instance, Sean Schneidmiller, who lives up in Gillette, he will be down in Cheyenne coming up on Friday, and then head over to Laramie for Saturday. So it kind of works out a way like that. Again, we can't set it up at a will call or anything like that. No, you got to come by the K-Ray Studios and pick these things up. And again, the Chick-fil-A, at least those coupons are only good for on the corner of Delrange and Windmill only.
And we'll give it to you until 10 a.m. on Saturday, because I will be down here.
Oh, you will?
I'm usually here Saturday mornings.
I was going to say the cutoff is usually around 3
on
a Friday.
Because of the importance of this game, especially with Pac-12, I do some work here Saturday morning. So, you might want to try that. Anyway,
I do plenty, as people
guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be driving Saturday morning. So, again, Wyoming Cowboys, Washington State. So we got a pair of tickets. This will be on the west side.
We have 4 pairs of tickets. We already gave away one to our winner yesterday.
But today we got a pair to give away again. That's what I'm saying.
That's the reason why, yes. On the Facebook and Twitter side, as I mentioned, again, we will be giving per day up until Thursday, again, 1 pair of tickets and 1 pair of goodies from our friends over at Chick-fil-A on the corner of Delrange and Windmill. Right. And again, it's a combination. It's a choose-your-own of the egg white grill, hash brown, scramble bowl, chicken or sausage, or a Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit. So you get a choice of one of those 3.
I'd go with the hash brown scramble bowl.
Just go with any of it.
Well,
do it all over.
The scramble bowls.
I mean, it's
that
Chick-fil-A.
gets number 1 on my list.
It's Chick-fil-A either way. But again, yes.
$680 of tickets I'm giving away. Do you realize these are from my personal stash?
I don't care.
I don't make that in a calendar year, $680.
I don't want to hear it. I don't care.
So I want whoever wins today to make sure that you enjoy
the tickets. Do not resell these, because we will find out. And then guess what? There will be repercussions, as some people have found out, or at least
tried to do that before, didn't they?
Yeah. And guess what? They're not eligible for anything else.
Shame on you for doing that.
And I don't really care.
So again, 2 tickets for Saturday's game. Kickoff 1 p.m. 1 p.m.
I thought it was 1:30.
Is it 1? I can't see on my.
It's 1:30. It listed as 3:30 on ESPN Eastern Time. So yes, it's 1:30 kickoff.
All right, so it's a 1:30 kickoff,
and again, we'll be shown on CBS Sports Network. But why do that? Why not just go?
It's gonna be a great looking day. Did you see the temperature going to be warming up for this weekend?
Good for it.
It's supposed to be like 80 here on Saturday, so you figure 5 degrees cooler in Laramie. 75.
It's still cold, or at least in my opinion. But anyway. Anyway, so
I use your words you used yesterday. No, I won't do that because I don't want to stoop to your level. All right, go ahead, pick your winner for today.
You're a pansy.
Go for it.
Anyway, so again, this fishbowl of awesomeness has gotten kind of full from yesterday. Again, thank you to all who at least have commented over on the Twitter and Facebook side. Again, there's quite a few of you, and again, we still encourage folks to at least enter your name or at least enter to get those entries in. Again, you do have all the way up until Thursday when we pick that last winner on Thursday's show. And let's see. All right, let's grab into all of these names here. Let's see here. All right. I got one here. All right. We're going to go with Paul Hartigan, Chinese boys golf head coach.
The golf coach from
The golf coach.
Wow.
He entered over on the Twitter side, so congratulations to Paul Hartigan.
All right, and congratulations to Pablo. That's kind of neat.
Huh. That is the luck of the draw, apparently. Again, congrats to Paul Hartigan. Again, he, out of all of these names, as I'm showing it up to the Periscope and YouTube side again.
Oh, no one can see that.
They can. It's in full high definition now that I updated it on our software program. But anyways, again, congratulations to Paul Hartigan. He entered over on the Twitter side, so I will notify you of how to pick up those tickets on the Twitter side. And again, congratulations to him. He is winner of today's pair of tickets. Guess what? We have 2 more for Wednesday and Thursday.
I'm looking at all the names in there. It all says Paul Hartigan in there. Rigged.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, look at me a straight face of rigged. Apparently, we're.
I see. All
did you not see me print out all those pages of individual names?
Well, guess what, pal?
I'm on
our page right now, and look at all the names that have come in.
There was 100. There was over 100.
There's more.
Oh.
Since we've been on the air.
Oh.
So you're going to have to get after it here,
Yeah.
pal. Holy cow. All right, so congratulations to Paul Hartigan.
So
joining
he's
Sean Schneidmiller. You said
Sean Schneidmiller was the winner of yesterday's contest, and today is Paul Hartigan. And again, encourage folks, again, those who've already got your entries in as of now, but those who keep on adding into it, again, I will keep on adding your names to that fishbowl. And again, winners will be drawn on Wednesday and Thursday again for a pair of tickets to go see Wyoming versus Washington State this Saturday over in Laramie, the first home game for the Wyoming Cowboys. And again, those pair of goodies to Chick-fil-A over on the corner of Delrange and Windmill. So
right across
still
from
have a
Menards.
chance for all hundreds of you that have entered in, again, with all those entries. Again, you still have a shot. Do not worry. You still have 2 more opportunities to win this week.
And again, too, with the gift certificates to Chick-fil-A, like I said, they have a convenient drive-through. They start serving breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, again, you grab some breakfast, head over to Laramie, and get some lunch while you're watching the ball game there, too. So, again, the Pokes and the Cougars. Once again, Theo Lawson, thank you from Washington State Insider for the Spokesman Review, and also to Craig Bowl joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. As I'm already amped up. It's Tuesday, and I can't wait for Saturday to get here. I'm not.
Calm down. You'll probably have a heart attack.
No, I won't have a heart attack. I'm in pretty good.
Yeah,
the heart's in good shape. That's the only thing that's probably in good shape on my body. Everything else is breaking apart.
I could do laps around you. Anyways.
You could. But you won't. Because you'll get clotheslined the first time you try to go around.
I got cat-like reflexes. I'll dodge it.
Cat-like reflexes, yeah. You'll curl up in a ball and cry. Here's what we got coming up for you. The Cowboys and the Cougars on Saturday. I'm amped up for this one because hearing Theo's watered-down version of the Cougars, and again,
it's a team that is being underrated, at least apparently, at least according to him on the polls, and we'll certainly see. Again, they are favored in the contest as of at least of yesterday. They were a 1.5 point favorite going into this contest, so at least people are showing that hey, someone does believe in them, or at least do believe that they have the talent. Again, according to Theo, as well as we're getting here at the top of the hour. But again, with that solid defensive, at least unit that Wyoming retained, same with Washington State, where again it was one of the fierce pass rushing defenses. It's going to be interesting. Well, it's especially where. I wouldn't say that at least Tyler Vanderwall had issues in New Mexico State, but it wasn't a shining effort out there. And guess what happened? We saw the lockdown pass, at least defense for Oregon of last year, again, had that short field and took advantage of it every single time, where we saw point after touchdown. Again, it was a scoring fest by the Oregon Ducks. It makes you, again, for me, it makes you a little bit worried that you might see a replication of that from what we saw, again, against another Pac-12 team that was mediocre. Well, right now in the eyes of a few Pac-12 voters, that this Washington State team is that mediocre team, not expected to do a whole lot in that North Division, but it brings up kind of bad memories of, could we see similar situations?
Or in the sequel, yeah. Well, here's the deal, too. If you take a look at the Cougars, and again, They kind of remind you a little bit just what we're getting here, what we saw last Friday night with the Thunder Basin Bolts.
Yeah.
Again, they got a couple. They got a back. They'll probably be out of the pistol more than anything, or out of the shotgun. They got the H back, the Z back, which can carry the football, or they can throw to them. Again, you got your wide receivers. They're big up front. 310, 295, 305, 300, 320. They are big up front. I understand we need to get to the top of the hour. And again, on the defensive side, they run the 50 defense, 3-4, if you want to call it that. They're not big by any stretch of the imagination, 280, 252, 265. Linebackers are very active, 230, 225, 230, and 195. So for the Wyoming Cowboys, like I said, this is going to be a good acid test right out of the box. Again, not many people giving them a chance to win. Theo has kind of backed off on this one, too, where he said this could be a one-pointer, in his opinion. Yeah. And he also thinks it's going to be a lower scoring game than he thought earlier that it was going to be 50-plus points. I agree with him. It's going to be a lower scoring game. We'll be back with hour number 2 after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe. Live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And it is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by these great folks, Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. The Wyoming Montana Safety Council, 635-4592. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Tier Bank, directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard, the main repair center over on Dunn Avenue. Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, 2 locations, the east side, corner of College and Pershing, and of course the original location on Vandehigh. Kia of Cheyenne, you'll find some good-looking automobiles waiting for you to test drive and take home over on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A, the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Today, it is Taco Tuesday all day at all Cheyenne Taco John's. And we get things underway with our scoreboard, which is being presented to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Nick?
I was about to complain about the Taco John's incident, but I remember that you got it yesterday, so I guess all in, it's all fair. That you bought it yesterday. That
yeah, I know.
I completely spaced it out. I was going to give you a tough time, but you
you can't give you a tough time. I bought you Taco John's yesterday. I barbecued lunch today. What more do you want out of me?
A pay raise? Anyway, so on my side, nothing really going on, at least in local area as of today, but do want to remind folks, coming up this Friday, we will be live over at Cheyenne East, Okie Blanchard Sports Complex, where it will be the Eastside Thunderbirds taking on the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. Game time, at least kickoff, will be 7 o'clock, and pregame here on 1480 K-Ray will be 6:30, where it'll be myself, But I'll be on the video production side. It'll be you and also to Chris Bolton on the call. And again, you can tune in to 1480 AM, 101.1 FM here in the Cheyenne area. Also, too, we do stream audio on our 1480 K-Ray website. And also, too, again, we'll be video live streaming on our Periscope side and also to the 1480 K-Ray YouTube channel.
Major League Baseball, Marlins and the Bo Sox. They'll get underway at Fenway at 5 o'clock when we get off the air. Blue Jays and the Orioles at Camden Yards. It will be the White Sox and the Yankees. Nats and the Phillies. Oh, by the way, Max Scherzer, 16-6, 2.13 ERA, goes up against Aaron Nola, 15-3, 2.13 ERA. And I think right now both you and me would probably agree Nola might be the choice for the Cy Young this year.
I think it's easy.
The Twins will take on the Indians, Brewers at the Reds, Rays and the Braves in the 6 o'clock hour. The Dodgers on the road. They finally leave Chavez Ravine. They will be in Texas to take on the Rangers.
They leave it after, I don't know if you saw that they had a little electrical problems there at Chavez where the lights went off. So maybe they, it's perfect timing that they're getting away from that place.
Mets and the Cubs, Jacob deGrom, who has a 1.71 ERA, 8-8 on the year. He'll go up against Cole Hamels, who's been paying off in big bucks for the Cubs since they picked him up in the trade. 4-0, 0.79 ERA for Chicago. The swinging A's, and they better swing it tonight because they sucked last night. They take on the Astros over at Minute Maid.
They had a few home runs, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Alex Bregman, though, the third baseman for the Astros, he's just been a one-man wrecking crew all year, and he was last night against Oakland. Texas will take on the Royals. It will be the Tigers will take on the Royals. Bucks will go up against the Cardinals at Busch. The Rocks will try to get on the winning track tonight as they take on the Angels. That will be at Angel Stadium. Anaheim, Kyle Freeland will toe the rubber for the Rockies. Mariners and the Padres tonight at Petco. Giants playing host to the Diamondbacks. And Mad Bum will go up against Clay Buchholz. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83? Come on, you're up!
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, and again, you get a lot of talking about the Wyoming Cowboys, and here it is Tuesday, Saturday, it's against the Washington State Cougars, non-conference, but again, it's Pac-12.
Well, I mean, we could talk about CSU, as pathetic as they are, or either maybe UNC down the road in Greeley, I don't know.
But anyway, with the Cowboys, going back to what I said prior to the break, and talking with Theo, where he's kind of downgraded his scoring expectations, I think this is going to be, again, where the defense is going to carry it. And I disagree with Theo. As of today, I say the Cowboys are going to win this thing like about 21-17. I don't think Washington State's going to cross the goal line that much. And again, I don't.
We'll see.
I don't foresee the offense. After watching against New Mexico, and again, the Cowboys are not going to play a perfect game every weekend out. We know that. It's not the perfect world. But if they do not, and if they play like they did Saturday night, anything close to similar, State can't beat them. There's just no way.
I think they're probably more talented offensive-wise. I could probably put up a little bit more effort than what in Mexico
I
State
agree,
could.
but I think the Cowboys, again, solid up front.
I don't anticipate that you're going to shut out Washington State. I don't think you're going to they're only going to score 7 points. I don't see it out of a Pac-12 team, especially under Mike Leach. I really don't. They might be young, and again, a lot of these position players, especially on that offense, might be listed as starters and then have oars behind a whole bunch of them, especially on that quarterback, where, again, the kind of running joke right now for this week 1 is, well, it could be this quarterback, or it's this guy, or it's this guy, or it's this guy, because, again, Mike Leach likes to have a little fun and, again, won't make that until game time decision of who he's going with. But, again, speculations is, who is first on that depth chart is what they're going to go with. Again, I don't anticipate that Wyoming, as good as that defense is, I still wholeheartedly believe, and again, especially talking with Theo and learning about that defense and how good of a structure, again, it's not the top 10 nationwide defense that we have here, or at least over in Laramie with the Wyoming Cowboys, but it's still a formidable outfit. It knows what to expect. It sees a higher competition as well, too, going throughout that Pac-12 with the likes of a USC, Oregon, Stanford, Washington, to name a few. It's a team that knows how to take care of offensive, at least high-powered offenses. Again, that's why I have to feel it feels like a little bit of deja vu going into this one, where at least undersold Oregon last year, again, especially with the hype behind Josh Allen. We all got on that bandwagon going, hey, he can take care of this. We can get this victory, especially at home. Oregon doesn't have a shot. Not saying that fans have that kind of overwhelming belief per se against Washington State, but it does have a deja vu feeling of going, if this pass defense is really that good for Washington State, you could see a lot of short field opportunities for the Cougars going there in War Memorial Stadium. It could be another situation of what we had last year.
Let me ask you this question. The question is very simple. If the Cowboys are competitive, win or lose, again, I have them on the good guy of the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose by 1, 2, 4, maybe 7 points,
respectable.
Are you going to be a believer in this ball club that their defense will be able to carry them, maybe at Columbia and maybe in the Mountain West Conference?
I still don't think in Columbia you have a shot. Wyoming does not. That is one of the hardest games behind probably Boise State. Granted, that's going to be here in Laramie, but it's. If they lose by a touchdown to Washington State, I go, okay, it was respectable. Again, this is a Washington State team that is also picked to finish near dead last in the Pac-12 right now, especially where they are reloading there in Pullman, Washington. It wouldn't have the grandeur, or at least I don't know how to best put it. It would not wow me if they came in that close going, okay, you lost by a touchdown to a Washington State team. Again, this is not clearly what we're seeing right now. This is not the Washington State Cougars of what we've seen in the past 5 years, where they've been floating up there at the top of the Pac-10, at least Pac-12 North, competing with the likes of a Washington or Stanford or whoever. It is a team that is certainly taking its lumps, or at least it's on a downswing right now this season, trying to rebuild.
You're just not a buyer yet on the Cowboys. You're not a buyer. You're not a taker yet.
And if they win against if they win against the Cougars this weekend, which again I think they could, I'll give them that shot. It is right now for me, as much as it feels like a complete coin flip at this point in time. If they win against Washington State, all right, you win me over slightly. It's not a major push. Now if you find a way to get close, let's move the scenario, and again, looking ahead. Say they take care of Washington State. Here we are at the Missouri game, where you're on the road. Columbia, again, a respectable SEC team. All right, if you lose by a touchdown to them on the road in a pretty tough environment, all right, you gain my respect. If they, and I'll consider an upset over Missouri in week 3, absolutely. Then you have then I'm a full-on believer that this team could absolutely win the Mountain West Championship and could dethrone Fresno or Boise State. But if they come close, they lose or win in this contest, it's positive movement forward. but it's nothing that throws me over the edge of going, all right, they're guaranteed to be that Mountain West champion. Well, I guarantee that this is the top dog team in the Mountain West.
Talking to you before this season got underway, and my impression was from you, and I might be wrong here, and you stop me if I'm wrong, you felt, and if I remember our conversations, you felt the Cowboys could be basically 0-3 before they came back and played Wofford. You thought.
I thought so.
Okay. So they already took care of business at Las Cruces. Not impressed with that 29-7 win.
I mean, it's a solid win.
New Mexico you built the Aggies up as a very good program. They didn't look good at all.
Again, I put them on the same plane as what you'll see in the Mountain West.
Okay, if that would
are they the top perennial, at least again, of a Mountain West? No, I thought they were equivalent to what you will see with CSU, with Utah State Air Force, kind of those middle of the pack Mountain West teams. They got the job done. It makes me very confident, at least going through the Mountain West. But again, that is also to a toss-up of what's going to happen down in Fort Collins with CSU on a Friday. Again, where you do have Air Force at home, Utah State. Granted, you're very fortunate with those at least coming here. But who knows? Again, going to the road at Hawaii, I have much more respect after this past weekend than I did in preseason. I thought Hawaii was going to do absolutely nothing this year. But right now, I don't know what to make of this Wyoming team. Again, it's positive. Hey, you're starting out 1-0. That's what you needed to do. This is another test. This is another test for it. And again, I think this preseason it's not insanely tough. It's nothing that's going to wow voters if they go 3-0. I don't think it's anything that cracks them in the top 25. But it's a situation where, okay, well, you gain respect.
I'm not worried about top 25. That's furthest from my mind right now. It's a Coach Bowl team. This ball club is Coach Bowl recruits. This is his ball club, from seniors down to the freshmen.
Again, out of these first four, minus Wofford, that should be your guaranteed win. Just with what we saw with Gardner-Webb, that should just be an absolute just thrashing in Laramie. There's no doubt about that one. But these first three, again,
Wofford.
Who?
You said Gardner-Webb.
Who we faced last year.
Oh, yeah. That one was not a threat.
Anyways, boy, you threw me off there. But, again, for these first three games, I still can't give an advantage, or at least say it's a similar, or at least a coin flip between Missouri and Wyoming. I still think Missouri is just a well better team. And, again, you just have to respect that they are an SEC program. But, again, with Washington State, absolutely. This game is a toss-up, but I can see it where Wyoming could probably cruise on them at this point in time. I can also see Washington State having a replication of what we saw with Oregon of last season. I can see either scenarios. With New Mexico, hey, you took care of the test of what I thought was going to be what you're going to see through the Mountain West. Hey, it makes me confident that you should take care of things in the Mountain West going through the conference. Did that prove me enough that you can take care of business against a Boise State? Not yet. Granted, you will see that as their first conference opponent, and again, that will be in Laramie. But long and short, if they get the win against Washington State, it's a slight positive. It's not going in infinite. Just
again, you and I, we're always going to agree to disagree. Here's the deal. I said it way back then, and I say it again now. I said it yesterday. This defense is very capable of carrying this ball club all season long, staying healthy.
Yeah.
And thank goodness for two buys. Thank goodness for two buys. They can carry this ball club.
And I'll play devil's advocate. Again, we don't want this outcome, at least for the Wyoming Cowboys. What if we do see a replication? Again, here it is Monday here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, 3 o'clock. We get things underway talking with the Wyoming Cowboys. And it's a situation where Washington State does a replication of what we saw with Oregon coming into town, where it was short fields. Defense tried their best, but it was just this Pac-12 offense that just likes to just – have a fast pace and just score and score and score. If we see a replication of that, what is I'd like to pick your brain on what would your opinion be?
If you're going to pick my brain on that, we're going to have to dissect exactly what happened. Did the Cowboys offense fail in their
I'm just saying, take piece for piece similarity of Oregon, where we saw the offense. And again, the offense was pathetic last year against Oregon.
And 3 touchdowns by Oregon came on short fields inside the 50.
I'm just saying, if we have that same situation, which again, it is an equivalent Pac-12 team that is coming back into town.
And again, any team, Nick, even an NFL team, can't survive on having the football inside their 50. It just doesn't work. You saw it in the high school game here the other night.
Yeah.
Look how many short fields Central gave Thunder Basin. And what did Thunder Basin
plenty.
do?
And they
put
scored.
it into the end zone. So, it don't have to be just the Wyoming Cowboys. It could be anybody we're talking about.
I'm just saying that's a team clearly a focus right now, but
I don't think you're going to see last year's replication. I really don't. I have always hoped that, again, this is going to be a packed house. And again, there's been times where I've seen big houses at UW and we've fallen flat on our rear end. I don't see this happening this weekend. I really feel good. Again, the group on the defensive side, this unit of 11 guys, they know each other. I mean, they know each other like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
They are very confident. The offense is going to get better every week. It's not just Josh Allen and, retooling the wide receivers, and I got to find a running back to replace Brian Hill. You got to remember, there's 4 skilled positions that 5, including the tight end, that Josh Allen had to fill last year, and offensive line. He had a freshman in the middle, for gosh sakes. So, right now, Tyler Vanderwall may be a redshirt freshman. He's got his first game under his belt. He's got some veteran. Nico Evans is a senior. And he ran the ball like a senior.
Yeah.
And will he run for 190 yards every week? No.
Yeah.
No. Maybe in some cases.
Who knows?
But again, here's the key, too, for the Cowboys. They have to have a balanced attack. So if they are throwing the football more than they're running, then we know they're in trouble. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Defensively, if we see balls inside the 50-yard line and Washington State takes over 1st and 10, then we got some problems.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. That's just my opinion. Again, I see a close game, but I see the over and under. This is me right now. I see it under 40 points. I see a very low-scoring game with the Cowboys coming out on top.
Be interesting to see the stats of what Wyoming is, at least record-wise, against Power 5 conference teams that come to Laramie. I highly doubt it's a very positive stat, especially going off years past of who's come to the War Memorial, for instance, of a Nebraska or a Texas.
Well, yeah, they have not won in a long time. I think, gosh, I have to go back to maybe Mississippi.
So this is something where, at least for Wyoming, this is huge to get this victory, at least this weekend. Again, establish yourself again. You got to consider, again, Washington State is part of that Power 5 conference, at least grouping. Again, a respectable of recent years team, as much as they've downturned and they're kind of returning to the old Cougars of past where they barely could get a win in the Pac-12. But if Wyoming gets the victory tonight, do I consider it an upset? Yes. I absolutely think so. Again, Mountain West teams out here don't really get a whole lot of respect. They get it done against Washington State as much as it is at home, and people will say what it is. Hey, Washington State couldn't handle the elevation, even though that Pullman's, I think with Moscow and Pullman, you're only at like 2,000, 3,000. It's not sea level. It's not awful, but they can adjust. And it would have a feel of an upset.
I think Oregon played the same thing, too. Last year, the rarefied air of Laramie did not play.
If anything, Oregon benefited coming out to Laramie because they got away from the wildfires.
And also, too, but, the rarefied air did not bother them. I don't think going up 5,000 feet is going to bother Washington State.
No.
I think they're young. I think they're going to make mistakes similar to what Wyoming did last year, with even a veteran quarterback in Josh Allen. So, like I said, the team that makes the fewest mistakes in this game will come out on top. Cowboys, again, can't give up the short field. And I'll tell you what, too.
It does have me worried, again, if we got a stellar pass defense, and again, Tyler Vanderwall, it wasn't an awful performance against New Mexico State, but it wasn't anything fantastic.
It was average. It was a good performance.
But is average going to get it done against a Washington State team?
I think it can, because he didn't make any mistakes. He was a good,
which is good. Yeah,
he was a good game manager. Now, also, too,
But are you going to get lucky with your rushers, at least getting those touchdowns in replace, again, getting those points? I don't think, also, too, you're going to put a safety on this Washington State team as what we saw against the Aggies.
Right.
Again, a lot of those enigmas that you saw in Week 1 I don't think are going to be replicated here. But, again, if you see an average showing out of Tyler Vanderwall, is that going to be good enough against this Washington State team? I don't think so. I really don't.
Well,
I think he's going to have to vault himself, or at least not be perfect, but at least elevate himself a little bit more to get it done against the Cougars.
Also, too, we also have another veteran that we haven't really talked about, and that's Cooper Roth, the place kicker for the Cowboys. And he showed me a lot of confidence out there kicking in Las Cruces. Washington State, if I'm not mistaken, I look at the notes here, they're either trying out right now a redshirt freshman or they got a redshirt sophomore that they got to come and kick in Laramie. So they got to get used to that right away as well, too. So I think with the Cowboys, that might also be a deciding factor. It might be the foot of Cooper Roth when it's all said and done. Like I said, now you can understand why. Here it is Tuesday. I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be an
absolutely should.
game.
Again, this is not a scenario of kind of looking into this game from probably last year, knowing at least the preseason schedule. It is a game that should be competitive. It should be close. Again, in my mind, I can see it being a blowout on either side for both teams, but I think it should be a close game. It is something where Wyoming at home, again, going against a Power 5 team, at least conference team, they have a legitimate shot of getting this victory. They absolutely do.
And if the Cowboys can do this, if they can get this win, which, again, I feel pretty confident they can.
We were confident last year against Oregon, too.
Yeah, but, we had Josh Allen back there, and I thought, just along with his veteran leadership, that he was going to pull that team together. But this defense,
well, we saw what happened. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was all on Josh Allen last year,
but the starting game of the season, where everybody thought, hey, going to Las Cruces and New Mexico State, and the Aggies are good, and they're equal to the Mountain West Conference.
Which I still think it's fair.
And it's going to be hot, and the Cowboys are going to be dragging the butt.
I don't think.
And you know what? The Cowboys, from the get-go, control that game. Now, what's going to happen in front of hopefully 30,000 screaming fans at UW on Saturday?
We'll see. If it's not a sellout, that's pretty pathetic.
Well, like I said, the Cowboys got to dictate the game, and first way you're going to dictate it is going to be on your defense. Hell, if they win the toss, I hope they defer to the second half because I want to see that defense out there right away, setting the tone against the Washington State Cougars. And again, we're going up against a quarterback in what's his name, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah,
he's what is he I think he's a graduate student, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I want to see him out there, and I want to see him try to run his pistol offense, and I want to see him run out of the gun against the Cowboys defense. And again, too, where Theo mentioned it, and he forgot Andrew Wingard's name. Try to get into the secondary against Wingard. Ain't going to happen. So
it just sounds like it's going to be two defensive battles.
It's going to be two Rams basically butting heads, like a good old-fashioned
Bighorn
Mountain
who is
game.
going to take advantage of that? Is it going to be the young upstart of Washington State, or is it going to be, again, a little bit older, but as well kind of new side of offensive ball for the Wyoming Cowboys? That is probably the biggest question right now. Again, as offense for me going into this season was a question, it continues on into this game of, can they get it done? Can they complement that defense in this game? And again, if Tyler Vanderwall is average in this, I think it's not going to be a good showing. It's not going to be I don't think it's going to be good enough to get it done against the Cougars. But that's just my opinion. Again, throwing no touchdowns, I don't think you're going to get away with it against a Pac-12 team.
All right, we need to take a timeout. We'll be right back after these words here on 1480 K-Ray.
Are you thinking about purchasing a home? Then Platte Valley Bank can help. With Platte Valley Bank, you can count on local decisions and expect to work with an experienced staff to design a loan to fit your needs. Just log on to pvbank.com and fill out our online application. We have money to lend, and at Platte Valley Bank, we are in the business of fulfilling dreams, enriching lives, and building our community one loan at a time.
All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your everyday drive should be anything but average. The new 2018 Kia Sportage has state-of-the-art technology for convenience, entertainment, and driver assistance. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and the 2018 Kia Sportage has available subscription-free UVO connectivity with a color touchscreen display for hands-free calling, navigation, music, and more. Stay in touch and be at your best wherever you go. Come in today or call us at 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
For 56 years, 1480 K-Ray has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both K-Ray and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 64. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 46. On Wednesday, it'll be sunny with highs around 84. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 50.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti, Nick Proetti across the way, 514-1071. Don't feel like you can't call us. We encourage you.
I like how
you,
at least earlier, I think during the break, you go, is that our phone again ringing? Well, it's ringing now, so...
well, I'm not going to get
it's
it.
not ringing
I'm
now.
not going to
At least it just stopped, but
yeah.
Again, you're just...
I thought I heard
things.
it. Well, and again, at my age, I'm going deep. What can I say?
You're senile. Anyway, so I do want to...
Not senile. I think I have more of a clue in life than you have, because I've been around a lot longer than you have.
Please, I doubt it wholeheartedly. I do want to remind folks...
307-514-1071, that's our telephone number.
Anyways, again, want to say congratulations to our winner earlier today, at least the winner of pair of tickets to go see Wyoming versus Washington State and those Chick-fil-A goodies. Again, Paul Hartigan, Cheyenne East golf head coach. At least congratulations to you, Paul. Again, I will notify you over on the Twitter side of how you pick up those tickets and go see Wyoming versus Washington State coming up this weekend. It is a 1:30 kickoff over there in Laramie.
All right. I'm going to throw this out at you. There's two things.
See right here on that piece of paper right there where it says 3:30 Eastern time?
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate
what I'm talking about.
I appreciate that. I'm going to throw two things at you. One we saw together when we were home having lunch today. And I'm going to throw this first one out, and I'm going to make it very quick. I saw this. It came across on my page early this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember the movie We Are Marshall, the young lady that was in there who lost her boyfriend, was working at the restaurant.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, anyway, her name is Katie Mara. She's part of the Mara family.
All right. Doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, she's an actress. And
I don't keep up with Hollywood. And
I think she's like the granddaughter to Wellington Mara. Anyway,
that tells me nothing. But anyways, continue on.
Wellington Mara is the founder of the New York Football Giants. Anyway, she made a comment about the national anthem. And again, I'm not going to go way in depth on this.
Just beating a dead horse.
No, she basically said, you have the right to stand, kneel, or sit during the national anthem. And it got me to thinking today, and I said this over on my show.
Technically, she's right.
And I got to thinking about this
again,
today.
it's not a law that you have to stand.
Well, my point is, why do we even have it? Think about that. I mean, why is the national anthem
That's
played?
probably the million-dollar question. I don't know.
I mean, should we just do away with it altogether?
I would absolutely say no. I don't think that, again, because there is no cut and dry. There is no black and white what you're trying to get out of everyone. And it's not going to happen.
We broke tradition on the national anthem. Tradition was stand, at attention to a certain degree.
Broke tradition. I mean, it's been broken not even this decade, this side of this new millennium. I mean, you saw it in the 60s, with those kind of protests, again, of, hey, let's raise the fist in the air.
I agree. It is
nothing. It is nothing new of what we're seeing. It's just a replication of, again, of.
It's the copycatters, I guess, now. And now everybody either wants to get their 15 minutes of fame. That's all I look at it. A lot of these people are doing now for 15 minutes of fame, so they get their name in the newspaper, or get their face on ESPN, whatever the case may be. I guess my question is, I throw out there to everybody: should we just? It at one time it stood for something, and now it's not so much it's turning into a joke, but why have it? Because really, the tradition.
I'm not wasting my breath on this anymore. Because again, you're trying to get a cut and dry answer, and it's not.
I'm not trying to get a cut and dry answer.
You're beating a dead horse of where you're in the same position where the NFL is and it seems like any other sport.
You blame the NFL though for making it worse than it really is.
Well, because they were just dumb of playing around with it, of going, all right, well, we're going to make policy that everyone has to say. Well, we're going to go against that and say that policy. No, we're not going to do that. You could do whatever. Well. Let's go back to that policy. We think it's right to have everyone stand, or either you have the option of just not even coming out. You can stand in the locker room. It's pathetic what the NFL's doing, at least that brass of, again, playing this back and forth of going, well, we like this. All right, let's flip-flop to, okay, well, players are upset. All right, players, we're going to make you happy. All right, there's that. Well, the fans are upset. Okay, we'll do this instead. Again, the NFL, how they're handling it is just pathetic, and they're just dumb about everything. But, again, it is not a cut and dry issue. We've said it many a time. I'm bored with it at this point in time. There's nothing new. There's nothing new.
But when I saw that,
guess what? She had an opinion. She let it know. Oh, whatever.
And again, I'm just throwing out the opinion or the suggestion. Maybe we just do away with it altogether and just go right into the game.
Yeah, but people wouldn't be happy with that either. Again, you'll have, say, veterans who would want to show that respect. They want.
I agree. And again, I don't want to insult anybody out there. I am in favor of the national anthem. I stand for the national anthem. I remove my cap and put it over my heart for the national anthem. I'm just saying, though, I'm sick and tired of it like you are. Either we do one or the other. Either we do it all in unison. No, wait a minute. We either do it all in unison or do away with it.
But see, I don't know if you want a governing body or anything.
I don't want a governing body.
I'm just saying where it is that kind of it's not cut and dry for a reason that you do have that option where, again, it is not law. It is not a punishable offense. Thankfully, again.
It's freedom of speech.
I mean, hell, you might as well go to Russia or something like that if you want to deal with something like that. But I
bet in Russia they respect their national anthem. They get shot.
Half of them are probably drunk on vodka, anyways. But again, with it's a situation. It's not going away anytime soon. I absolutely get that. But what more is there to put on it? Again, people are going to have their opinions. It's going to be back and forth of just where we are in this day and age. It's going to happen. Is there going to be a cut and dry answer, say, in the next 5-10 years? No, I really don't think so. Mm-hmm. It is going to be something that's going to last for quite some time until someone has a meeting, at least a middle-of-the-road decision of going, all right, you're going to have to accommodate to this, but we'll accommodate for you on this. Whatever this and that is, I don't know. I don't have that answer. I don't have that decision. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, well, again,
it's a situation where, again, I don't know why you even brought it up. Who cares? She has an opinion. She said it. Good on her.
Like I said, she's part of a very famous football family, and she, weighed in on it. And again, does
she have anything to do with the Giants other than just being related, though? No?
I don't know what she has with the Giants.
It doesn't sound like anything.
Obviously, her family has.
But it's not her. She's not running the team, is she?
No, but I'm sure. I'm sure.
Again, what does that have to do?
I'm sure it all rolls downhill after it's all said and done.
Whatever.
All right. Then the second thing that we saw today, and that kind of made you happy.
What?
Not from the guy himself, because I think he's just I'm still disgusted that he got enshrined into the Hall before Pat Bowlen did. That's Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones.
Hey, my buddy or anything.
No, I didn't say that. He made the comment today that maybe the NFL should start thinking about seriously going to an 18-game schedule.
He's been the outspoken, at least,
and only 2 preseason games.
He's been the outspoken proponent for that, of calling it for quite some time and going, hey, it's – and what he came out today is there's studies that back me up on this, that it's going to improve player health. Now, I'd love to see those studies. It was very vague on those, and again, there was no attribution to what studies were or any paperwork or anything like that, but apparently Jerry Jones has been passing along studies that show that it's going to be beneficial for player health if they remove 2 preseason games and add it to the regular season. I'm all for it. I absolutely agree. I think preseason is more detrimental to teams, as we've kind of seen, especially if you're a Bills fan, especially with one Josh Allen. It's a situation where I agree with him. I've been a proponent. I've called for the NFL going, absolutely, you need to do this. Preseason's a joke. It does not need to last 4 games. In any football instance, especially in the college ranks, you have your little inner scrimmage, for Wyoming, the brown and gold game, and that's it. That's your preseason, and then you get into it here September 1st or at least, again, last Saturday for Wyoming. Again, there is no preseason game. These games matter. It goes to an actual record.
Well, technically, it's not a conference game. It's a non-conference game.
It still matters to your record, though. Again, it still adds to, hey.
You're 1-0, and you need 5 more to be bowl eligible.
There you go. It's as simple as that. Now, why the NFL needs 4 tune-up games to figure out who needs to be on a roster, I don't understand. If colleges can figure it out, and they got to deal with scholarship money as well, too. They got to deal with monies involved with their players as well. Hey, they can figure it out. Why does it need 4 games to figure it out for the NFL? 4 games where who cares? Doesn't matter. Jimmy G and your starters, they're going to play maybe 1 series. Coming up in game 4, they'll probably maybe play a quarter. Lucky at half, who knows?
Right.
But is it worth it to risk injury for any of these guys? You see it right now, and Buffalo's going to probably be the worst team in the NFL. It's looking like it, and I think a lot of people are kind of outspoken of that. The Bills are just going to be terrible, but look at what's happened to this team. Has just been detrimented by injuries, just crushed by them. The Broncos are kind of feeling that as well, too, of injuries. It's not mounting up, but there are pieces right now getting injured during the preseason. It's an unnecessary evil right now where just even half of it. Do we need 4 games? 2 should be sufficient enough.
I remember one time they wanted to have 6 preseason
That's just
games.
insane. That's insane.
And again, what they did for the preseason games, supposedly it was to you make it easier on the coaching staffs to do the cut downs because, back in the days you had rosters that were whatever.
Even 4 games, you need
70, 80, 90 people.
You need 4 weeks plus your summer camps, spring training, all that time to figure out, okay, I need to cut that guy that you were pretty sure of. Again, your starters of you go out to Patriot land with Belichick and going, well, I need 4 weeks to decide if this Brady guy is going to be part of this team. Well, okay. 4 weeks in plus, again, with the summer camps and spring training.
I really don't care. I don't care if they go to an 18-game season, 2 pre-games. It don't matter to me. I think preseason, especially for season ticket holders, they get 2 what they call junk games that they have to go to.
How about get only 1 and then you get 1 regular season?
One extra regular season game. I think it's well worth it. But also, too, I would have to say if you extend the National Football League season to 18 games, which I don't have a problem with.
It's already there. Again, you have
to give them 2. You have to give them an extra bye week. There has to be 2 bye weeks.
That's fine. I don't think the NFL would have any issue.
So now you're taking the NFL just so
I think with the NFL as well, too, you could probably push it up a week earlier than what it is right now. You could probably get away with pushing it up a week early again where, hey, we're already starting with college football. We're already, at least for Wyoming, and here we are in week 2 for them, game number 2. I think with the pros, you can absolutely move it up a week. Complement that bye week as well, too, to sneak in an extra 1 for that. I don't think it's going to be an issue. And then you can get on par with late January, early February for the Super Bowl. I don't, especially when do we need the Pro Bowl where they're kind of mixing that around of, oh, let's put that beforehand or after and, decide if we need a week or something. Come on, NFL.
Well, the question will have to be
if you want anything cut and dry, it should be that.
The question first has to come to a vote by the NFL Players Association.
And I think they'd be for it. I really do.
You're speaking on behalf of, have you heard anybody from them saying they want to go?
I'm just going off of what my opinion would be of those players. I think they would be all for it.
Okay.
Why are we wasting time playing 4 preseason games, 2 on the road, 2 at home? It doesn't matter. Again, half of it's, again, for starters or people who are not really playing for jobs online. It's a joke.
So you think ownership is on board with this, totally on board?
I would think so. think so.
So then what's the problem? I guess we should get
if you're an owner and not even seeing the ranks of at least stadiums around the league in these preseason games, they can't be full of what would be considered at least a regular season game. You really think people are droving and sellouts are at Mile High Stadium? They might be. Again, I really don't know. I don't care that much of the preseason to even notice, but it's something where if I'm a fan and hey, let's go watch the Broncos. Well, I don't care about the preseason. I'll give those tickets away. I'll burn them. I don't care. What am I going to do with them?
Yeah,
I think maybe there's a financial gain for these at least owners if they do have that one extra home game of going, well, here we are in Jacksonville. No one's really tuning in or at least coming out for a Jags preseason game. They might for a regular season game, however. Okay, it's beneficial in the money ways. Who knows? And again, with Jerry Jones' quote-unquote studies of at least player health, of adding these 2 regular season games,
that's off the mark.
I'll take it with a grain of salt from Jerry Jones, but who knows?
Maybe what you're doing is you're asking your starter, and then this is just me now, where Jerry Jones says it's more beneficial to play. In the 2 preseason games, let's just say for argument's sake, week 3 and 4 are gone. Your starter doesn't even play in week 4 and probably plays a good amount in week 3. Well, if you add the 2 extra games, you're talking about your starter playing 4 quarters. Very good possibility he's going to get hurt in that game.
Maybe
in one
maybe
of those
not.
2 games.
Again, we've seen starters who get injured in one freakish play in a preseason.
I agree. I'm just saying.
Where he was only out there for 5 plays and he managed to get.
I feel Jerry Jones a little out there when he makes.
He might have some. Again, this
like
is a guy who will invest time into stuff like that to at least find a way to benefit him. And again, I think that's what he's seeing right now.
He needs to fill up Jerry's world because that's $1 billion.
There's nothing wrong with that. Again, he's an owner. He wants to make money. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, nothing wrong.
Go right ahead. Again, I think that's what he's trying to do is push that narrative of, hey, this preseason is worthless to me. I'm not making money off of it.
I'm sure he'll have the Yorks on his side as well too. Jed York, yeah, absolutely, because that's going to be another albatross.
I would think fans would be for this as well too. Again, are you not tired of 4 preseason games that don't mean anything? They mean nothing. We've wasted an entire month off of, again, of other than maybe a few QB battles. It's a situation of, well, we already knew what this team was going to be.
So let me ask you this: so you don't like the preseason, and I can live with that. What about spring training for baseball? Can you handle 30 games of spring training in March? And you've been down there. I've been down there.
Spring training is a whole.
Is that a different breed?
It's a whole different breed. I don't know what it is about spring training. That is something of more so of just.
Because I've seen the Rockies with a pile of players. I watched a rookie game.
For me, spring training though is on a whole nother level where it does have that fan interaction. It is those tight knit kind of small stadiums where it is kind of tailored of, hey, meet the new group, meet the players. It is kind of tailored to the families as well. Of hey, let's sign autographs, let's have fun. It's kind of that minor league baseball
Take that
feel.
Spring vacation down there.
It is kind of that vacation time. Preseason NFL doesn't have that feel. It's just okay, we're here, whatever.
It's still summertime.
I'm just saying, spring training I think is fine for baseball for me. Again. Am I watching a game on MLB Network and being fully invested of, oh, here it is, Giants, A's, a split squad in Scottsdale? Not really. If I go down there, it is more so of a vacation site because again, it is a destination of.
I say this to you, Nick.
It's a different stadium. It's not their home stadium. It's that their quote unquote minor league spring training field.
I don't have a problem with the 18-game schedule. I say do away with the preseason altogether. I think if what your argument is right now, preseason is just a waste of time.
It is. I've been saying that for however long.
So I mean,
colleges don't do a preseason. High school football does not do a preseason.
They should be able to make their decisions from OTAs, mini camps, and summer camp, and do your cutting right there without playing a game.
I think so.
Or
how do colleges deal with it then?
Or the NFL allows you to carry. You could do like similar now, where by game 1 you can carry 65 players. Game 2 you have to cut down to 55. By game 3 it's got to be down to 45. You make your cuts, during that time. I mean, I don't know. But to me, I just say
hell, baseball does it during the regular season before you get into at least.
I just say
dog days of summer.
I just say don't even include it anymore. Just go right into the NFL
Get rid of it,
season,
yeah.
18 games.
Absolutely.
Because that way you will, to quote, or not to quote Jerry Jones, but to take a page from his playbook, I think you save more injuries by not playing a preseason game. Because that's where your freak injuries happen.
Yeah. And again, he might be right with his, whatever studies, which we have not seen or there's no evidence of, but again, maybe there is truth to what it is. And again, we've seen that where, look at, again, I got to bring it up, but again, the Buffalo Bills situation of, hey, now they haven't really lost Josh Allen, but you've lost your main starter.
You've had 2 of your 3 quarterbacks get hurt out of the get-go. We're only into what week in preseason now? This is preseason week 4.
Yeah, it's like week preseason infinity at this point in time. It's gone on way too long.
This is the final weekend of preseason. So, anyway, we do need to take a timeout. We're getting to the top of the hour. So real quick, you're okay with the 18-2?
I think that's a fair compromise.
I say get rid of it altogether. Just give me 18 weeks.
I'm happy with that as well, too, yeah.
So,
why waste our time?
But again, this is all up first to the NFL Players Association. It's got to be brought to them. It's got to be written up, concrete. Got to be in unison by the Players Association. Then the ownership has got to come through. And again, first off, by me saying get rid of the preseason, owners going to be ticked off at me now because that's going to be a few $1,000 they're going to miss by 30, 40,000 fans not showing up to their stadium for one preseason game. So they're going to be angry with me right now.
Oh well.
NFL Network's going to say, hey, you saved me some money. You saved me some money. We don't have to air that empty stadium game.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to be back with more right after these words on 1480 K-Ray.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
All right, good half of football, boys. Now, good is good, but we can always be better. Look at Taco John's. They took those tasty little potato lays and loaded them up with bacon and ranch and all kinds of good stuff. They made something good even better.
Taco John's new loaded potato olays are loaded with craveable toppings for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even dessert.
So olay the day, boys, and play like you're making loaded potato lays.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16-month CD at an annual percentage yield of 2.33% and a 27-month CD at an APY of 2.74%. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Chick-fil-A. is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 64. And for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 46. On Wednesday, it'll be sunny with highs around 84. And on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 50.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today, not realizing how late it is. We got to get ready to wrap things up. Again, the Rockheads will take on the Halos in SoCal tonight.
If they can win.
Oh, jeez.
They can beat them.
Again, another collapse job by the bullpen. The Rockies rally back, and bullpen finds a way to screw it up.
Anything new.
I know. It's just an old record. And the record's starting to get scratched now. And then they get help.
They're still 11 games above 500.
But they got help.
Granted, they have, again, their only shot for the Rockies is, again, winning that NL West. They have no shot, in my opinion, in the NL wild card.
I think it
is division or bust.
It will be in that Central Division, probably Chicago, with St. Louis, Milwaukee being a representative out of the wild card. And it's still not said and done in the East yet.
Yeah, no, not at all. Again, that's where I anticipate, again, you're going to have, I would think you'd have a split between Central and East for wild card.
Or all
West
coming out of the Central.
West is only sending one representative. And
what we said, again, the Giants have kind of cashed in, and they get a great performance last night. They beat the Diamondbacks 2-0.
Well, again, I think the Giants are going to play spoiler like the Padres are going, hey.
Absolutely.
If we're not having fun, you're not either.
That's right. And again, they're going to throw Mad Bum out tonight at home.
In which they could cash in and go, hey, Madison, you can just rest now.
I mean, if the Diamondbacks lose to the Giants tonight,
that's huge.
And the Rocks lose.
It's beneficial for the Dodgers.
And the Rocks lose again to the Halos tonight. Kyle Freeland throwing for Colorado.
Yeah.
That's going to be that's a 2-game swing.
And I think also, too, for the Giants, they're also not playing, they're playing spoiler a bit, but also, too, it's respectability of getting above 500 or at least near that. Again, where they were last year, floating 90 losses, miles ahead, at least this season, showing improvements, which is good. And I think for this team, that's just kind of at least more of a emotional kind of side of going, all right, let's at least cap off. We know we're not making the playoffs, but at least let's hit near 500.
Last night's win put them 7 out with 30-plus games to go.
That's still
good
luck.
Oh, they win tonight. They're 6 out.
Good luck.
So, I mean, technically, they're we believe, me, that they've cashed it in. Yeah. They're technically not out of it as far as winning that pennant. I know a lot of goofy things. Hey, we saw the Rockies.
Yeah, could you imagine Giants winning the NL West and Buster Posey on the DL going with a season ending surgery, which did go well.
Stranger things happen. Ask the Rockies in their first Rocktober when they went nuts and won those 20-plus games.
I think that was like 3.
So anyway, it's stranger things have happened. But again, I'm not holding my breath that the Giants are going to win it. But
no,
they win tonight. They're only 6 games off the pace. All right. We want to remind you real quick here, coming up this evening, Golden Age Rated Theater, Red Skelton times 2, 8 and 8:30. And then we followed up with Suspense Theater at 9 and 9:30. So from 8 until 10, 2 hours of some great old-time radio for you. The best of the 50s and 60s inside your radio tomorrow. Another Power Pack show. Thanks for joining us today. More tickets to give away tomorrow.
At least one pair.
Congratulations to Paul Hardigan, today's winner of our ticket giveaway, and gifts from our friends over at Chick-fil-A corner Windmill Del Range, right across from ours. Thank you to Ray and Cindy Medford, good friends of ours, and they've been friends for a long, long time. So we get ready to wrap things up. We turn it over to Nixter one last time. We find out what's going on this date in history.
It is August 28th. We'll go back to the year 1994. This amateur won. I've given you clues, but I can't give you everything. It was this
Tiger Woods.
All right, there you go. What did he win?
He won the PGA.
No.
Well, I don't know. Then what did he win?
August 28th, 1994, in the 94th edition of the U.S. Golf Amateur Championship, it was won by Tiger Woods.
All right, so I got half of it right.
Well, it's not the full credit, and in a classroom setting, that would be F.
All right, so
you failed.
So you would know that, because usually you were half right on most of your stuff anyway. Because
I had 4.0 all the way.
Many a time I got called in because of Mr. Nixter.
Well, that was high school.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, I got 5 seconds here to say this.
No.
I remember that one time, Nick, when I had to go.
Nope. Yeah, you just got cut off.
No, I had to go.
Yeah, you
Turn
get.
it back on.
Why?
Turn it back on. I remember I had to go to parent-teacher conference, and your one instructor said, "Yeah, he's not doing well in the class." And I said, "Nick, how come you're not doing well in the class?" And we opened up that book, and it hadn't been opened all year. It went when you opened it. It cracked when you opened it. Shame on you.
Here I am now leading at least one of the best sports talk shows in the state, if not the tri-state region.
You're lucky I carry the load for you.
Please.
I'm the one that's
Have you booked anything? Have you done anything? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here bailing you out every day.
Where was this show 2 years ago when I wasn't here?
I was still bailing it out 2 years ago. All right, it's 5 o'clock.
No one
Have a
even knew who
safe
you were.
drive home. You take care. We will talk to you tomorrow from 3 until 5 right here on Wyoming Sports Talk Today.